सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। The role of values in daily life. That's the topic. The role of values in daily life. So what is this daily life? We can say daily life is interacting with the world. When I wake up in the morning, till the time I go to sleep, I am doing something or the other, and all the time relating to world, interacting with the world. Sometimes, even when we are alone, and there may not be the physical presence of someone to relate to, but mentally we relate to others when we think about them in whichever way. Thus we can say that what is daily life is interacting with the world. And this interaction may not be easy. Just before coming here we had discussion. Swamiji, for getting our things done, we have to every day relate to people occupying authority, whether they be government officers, bank officers, people who enjoy authority, people who are in a position to favor. So very often we have to relate to them. Seeking their favor means so that they don't become an obstacle. But Swami, these people are so difficult that we find that every time we relate to them, we get hurt and angry and react. This is the usual story while we relate to some people, not all of them. So this is one aspect of relating. Now, more sensitive you are, more sincere you are, more you are going to feel sad on account of what you did. First, I felt bad on account of what that other person did. And then I burst out with anger, I reacted. And later on, I feel bad about myself as to why did I do that. When someone hurts me, when someone is unfair to me, someone treats me in an unfair or undesirable manner, I get hurt. Because of expectation. People should be fair to me. There should be justice. They should respect me. Basic expectations are there. And when these are not met with, I get upset. And then when I get upset, more often than not, I behave in a manner that makes the other person upset. Next time that person makes me upset. I react by making, this is how very often our daily interaction is a series of hurting each other. Even though we may not express that hurt outwardly, inside it lives. So, in this daily life, very often these two things happen. Either I feel that I have been treated in an unfair manner, this person has not been fair to me, just to me, respectable to me. When I feel being treated in that manner, my feelings are hurt. When very often, out of hurt, I react, then I hurt other person, then I feel guilty. You follow? So in this daily life, which is what is meant for us to live our life, achieve our goals, become successful, become happy, that's the purpose of life. And human being is the only creature who has the privilege of being happy, creating happiness for oneself. Thus, our life is to create happiness for ourselves. That we should understand that we want to be happy, but we have to create happiness for ourselves. And we should refrain from creating unhappiness for ourselves. So this is daily life. We won't talk of very spirituality, but this is daily life. And everybody wants to be happy. Nobody wants to be sad, unhappy, sorrowful. So in daily life, how to avoid this sadness? How to avoid this sorrow? How to avoid conflict? How to establish a harmony? That becomes a value. See, value in daily life. If daily life is meant for me to be happy, the only time I can be happy is when I am in harmony with myself, when I am at peace with myself. And therefore, how to attain that peace with myself, how to attain that harmony, how to be happy becomes the primary value, is it not so? Other things come later. Non-violence, that is all later. What's the basic need? To be happy. And therefore, understand that happiness is the most valuable thing to me. Because my mind demands that I want to be happy and I do not want unhappiness. If I did not mind being happy now and unhappy later, it's okay, no problem. But I want to be happy and I do not want to be unhappy. That is the basic need I have in my life. And therefore, I should learn to live life. The responsibility is given to me. That is the difficult part. As far as other creatures are concerned, creatures other than human beings, they don't have responsibility. Therefore, there is no guilt and there is no hurt. This responsibility creates the guilt and hurt. Dogs and cats have no guilt and no hurt. A cat can make a mouse its breakfast without feeling guilty. And if you so stick to the cat and drive, it doesn't feel hurt or anything. For a moment, it doesn't, forgets it. Sometimes people call because they don't get the live stream and stuff like that, So person who announces, tells other people to shut off their phone, his own phone is running. If that does not run, then this streaming doesn't happen. So I think that to simplify our discussion, we will say that if basic value is to be happy, and in my day-to-day life, in interacting with people, I find that I repeatedly get hurt by the behavior of other people, and very often their behavior provokes me, arouses anger from me, and whenever I act out of anger, provocation, then I wind up doing something which hurts others, then I feel guilty. A sensitive person will feel guilty for having done something which should not have been done. And sensitivity is what makes me hurt, and sensitivity is what, because of which I am guilty. So it's hurt and guilt, all our very common experiences. Each one of them makes me unhappy. The reason why we are directing our attention to this is because both the hurt as well as guilt makes me unhappy. You hurt me, I'm unhappy. I hurt you, feel guilty, I regret, I repent, makes me unhappy. That means that both of these things come in the way of my basic agenda of becoming happy. My basic agenda is what? To be happy. And these two entities, hurt and guilt, they are what deny me the very happiness that I am seeking. So if you just focus attention on this little thing. So when we say that it is we who have to create happiness for ourselves, nobody else can create happiness for me. They can at the most bring me things that I like. Swamiji, here is a nice food that you love, here are nice clothes, they can do that. But whether that good food necessarily makes me happy or not is a different thing. It is my problem. You can bring to please me, you can bring the best things. But whether I will be pleased with those best things or not, is there a guarantee? You love movies, is there a guarantee that just because you want your favorite movie or a serial that you will be happy? What I'm meaning that someone else cannot make me happy, I have to make myself happy. And similarly, someone else cannot make me unhappy, I only make myself unhappy. If this is so, then alone we have the freedom to make us happy and refrain from making us unhappy. If the world creates unhappiness for me, I have no control. In that case, I can never be sure that I can be a happy person. If I need world to make me happy, then also I cannot be sure. I cannot control the world. So our usual conclusion is that the world makes me happy and the world makes me unhappy. Therefore, all along our effort is to create around ourselves a world which will make me happy and avoid a world around me that will make me unhappy. So all along, to create happiness, I rearrange the things around me. This friend is no good, change it. This furniture is no good, change it. This job is no good, change it. This spouse is no good, change it. I don't say you should not change. But if you look at our life, all along we are struggling to rearrange things around ourselves so that we will be comfortable, so that we will be happy. Because our conclusion is that it is the world which has to make me happy. And if I rearrange the world, world means everything around me. It includes this table also, and chair also, and footrest also, and everything. I always rearrange. Swami, what kind of chair do you like? What kind of table? What should be the height? How the footrest should be, etc. So that will make me happy. See, everything is done with this assumption that happiness has to come from there, from the world, from others. Not only that, but we demand, you are supposed to make me happy. And therefore, you should conduct yourself in this manner. You should do this and should not do that. Sometimes we are vocal about our demands, and sometimes we may not be vocal. The demands are there constantly as to how the world should conduct itself so that I am comfortable, and what the world should not do so that I am not uncomfortable. So this is our life, daily life. You follow? What is daily life? I'm not talking about traveling in the bus and this and that. Not. Daily life is this. I'm constantly trying to rearrange or change the world around me so that I'm happy, so that happiness is created for me, or so that unhappiness is not created. All along I am rearranging, doing things with the world. The world does not oblige me, I make a demand that you are supposed to do this. I use my authority. You understand this? I mean, you think about all this. You may not have thought it in this way. But if you think this way, this is what we'll find. That's what we do. We expect things from people. Naturally, Swami, expect is natural. That means I want the world to make me happy. So thus, our life is to create happiness or avoid unhappiness by rearranging the world, doing something with the world, making world favorable to me, avoiding the world from being unfavorable. This is my life. It's constant struggle, and nobody can be successful. Why should the world become favorable to me? World has its own agenda, I have my agenda. World has its own agenda. I will follow its own agenda, not my agenda. Sometimes it may oblige me. Then okay. Very often my agenda and the agenda of the world are different. So world has its own flow. Meaning other people, they do what they want to do, and they may not necessarily be always, sympathetic to me. So Vedanta teaches that this is a wrong way of doing something. This whole attempt on my part to create happiness by changing the world, rearranging the world, by acquiring, by giving up the world, is a futile attempt to create happiness. No, Swamiji, I do become happy. That's by chance, you may. And so Vedanta teaches that we have to create happiness for ourselves. Meaning Vedanta teaches that rather than struggling to change the world, the practical thing to do is to change myself or transform myself so that world can remain what it is. You know the famous story of a king who ordered his minister that tomorrow I want to tour my kingdom, and my feet right now are very sensitive, therefore you please pave all the whole kingdom with leather so that my feet do not get hurt. Have you heard this story? No? No, people were worried. How are you going to do that? Where shall we get all that amount of leather? And how are we going to spread all the paths by leather so that the king is not hurt? Is it possible? So then the minister was a wise person. He had a bright idea. Sir, rather than covering your path with leather, how about covering your feet with leather? So covering the path with leather is what we are doing. What Vedanta teaches is cover your feet with leather. Paths are what they are. World is what it is. And by saying that, I am not saying there is anything wrong with the world. Everything is okay, what it is. But we have to change ourselves. To create happiness, it is not that changing the world is a means. To create happiness, the means is to change myself. So the daily values come. So we identified two sources of sorrow or unhappiness. You remember what are those two things? What are the two things I said which make us unhappy? Remember? Just loudly so I can hear. I'm asking them or them. They all know. They're just too shy to say, that's all. They're all intelligent people. They understand. Just too shy. So what are the two things that I said make us unhappy? Which we experience all the time. Hurt and guilt. So if hurt and guilt make me unhappy, then what should I do to avoid hurt and guilt? What happens is, this hurt and guilt take place, understand. I have no freedom to avoid being hurt, to avoid being guilty. Not only I cannot control the world, I cannot control even my mind. Therefore, when something happens, I feel hurt, whether I want it or not. When something happens, I feel guilty, whether I want it or not. You follow? So what should I do? I should do something so that I do not get hurt. Hurt comes to me. You understand this? I do not get angry. I do not get angry. Anger gets me. I must have told you this little anecdote from our Swamiji. Swami gives talks like this, how to control anger, how to do this, that and so forth. And so when close devotee once comes to Puja Swami, Swamiji, I listened to your talk and I've been thinking about, I've given up anger. The Swamiji, little mischievously I guess, says, I don't think you've given up anger. I think that a provoking situation may not have arisen. No, Swami, you've given up anger? I think that since 4 months I've given up anger. I think that during those 4 months, nobody may have provoked you. No, I've given up anger. I think that provoking situation is not, he's very calm, That fellow slowly gets excited, is calm. I think that maybe nobody has provoked you in 4 months. I am telling you, Swami, you have not gotten angry, Meaning that nobody gets angry, anger happens. If we understand the basic things, then we know what to do. Otherwise, we try not to get angry, but in that process, you get angry. So understand that I don't feel guilty, guilt comes to me. It's not I who feel hurt, hurt comes to me. I don't have freedom. If I have freedom not to feel hurt, nobody will want to feel hurt, is it not so? For freedom not to feel guilty, why should anybody feel guilty and why should you unnecessarily create unhappiness? But hurt and guilt happen. So when there is a suitable soil in which you sow the seeds, the sprouts will come, isn't it? So what should you do? In Vedanta they use the expression, you roast the seed, If you roast the seed, then the very germinating potential itself is destroyed. Then that seed will not bring up any sprout. Or you sow the seeds in desert, then also no sprouts will come. Similarly, world will keep on sowing the seeds by provoking us, by doing etc. Where we have to change is that how the seeds do not germinate into provoking me, making me angry. No, what I'm saying is, it is not I who make me angry, it is something within me that makes me angry. That thing has to be removed, the cause must be removed. Hurt is effect, guilt is effect, anger is effect. Effect can go only when we remove the cause. The garden also, if you keep on cutting the weeds from the top, as long as roots are there, the weeds will keep on growing again and again. As long as roots are there in our mind, the hurt and guilt will keep on coming. Therefore, what we need to do is to create a state of mind where hurt and guilt do not arise. We cannot not get hurt because it happens. We cannot not feel guilty because it happens. What we need to do is change the mind so that these things do not happen. Turn the soil into desert in this reverse case, So people can pour its seeds, nothing happens. Meaning that the world will treat you the way the world is treating you. It is for us not to get provoked. So when do I hurt others? Whenever I act out of anger. When I act out of anger, then my behavior, I have no control over my behavior. That's the reason why more often than not, we regret our behavior because later I realize that it was not proper for me. I should not have done it. I was not there to do it. I should not have done it also not. I'm not there to do it. It happens. We regret later on. So whenever we act out of anger, our action becomes violent action, meaning that we wind up hurting somebody physically or emotionally. Therefore, I feel guilty when I wind up hurting somebody. Either hurt them physically or emotionally. We don't have much freedom to hurt physically these days anyway, but emotionally we can use our words like arrows which can pierce the heart of the other person and can hurt. And we deliberately do that. So, it means that I should do something so that I do not act out of anger. Anger comes, but then I do not act out of anger. If someday it happens that anger does not come, you are liberated while living. Suppose such a simple thing. If your mind becomes such that anger doesn't happen, this is called moksha. You heard this word moksha? Liberation? It's a very big, heavy word, and we get scared. But simple definition of this is what? Anger does not come. That's how the Lord Krishna describes. A wise person is described adveshta sarvabhutanam. One who has no dvesha or hatred for anybody. Now, hatred we don't hate, hatred happens. Meaning that hatred does not happen in the mind of this person. He has completely transformed his mind so that hatred does not arise. Then only you don't hate. You don't hate deliberately. Hatred happens. You see this person and something happens. There is no doership in there. So hatred will not arise if you remove the cause of hatred. Anger will not arise if you remove the cause of anger. So therefore, how to make ourselves happy? By staying away from guilt. Why do we feel guilty? When we act in a manner which hurts somebody else. Then I disapprove of my own action. I feel guilty. What was that action? Which action happened out of anger? That means that I should not get angry. What is the value? I should refrain from getting angry. But Swami, it happens. You don't know this person. He keeps on turning the screw. And I try to keep my mind quiet. The screw turned further. Until I get angry, Swami. That is what people do. They make me angry. They keep on turning the screw, they keep on pushing my buttons. So whatever Swami used to say, you should wear out the threads of the screw. People will turn the screw. What we should do? Those threads should be worn out. Let them do. What are those threads? In my mind, there are those threads which make me angry, what people turn the screw. What's the thread? Basically, my expectations and demands as to how others should be. And therefore, in order for me not to get angry, I should drop the cause of anger. What is the cause of anger? My demands and expectations from you. This is my problem. I want others to act in a certain manner or not to do certain things, meaning that I do not give others the freedom to be what they are. I want them to conduct themselves as I demand. Is it not so? No, Swami, I never. You may not say it outwardly, but inwardly. Even while driving also inwardly there is a demand. This Swami, this municipality, they don't understand how to do things. This signal never synchronized. So here the red traffic light, 79 seconds. And you go after 5 minutes, another 79 seconds. After 5 minutes, these fellows, I get upset. I mean, expectation that these fellows should have minimum sense. That I should encounter green light and not red light all the time. And why 79 seconds? How come we waited 79 seconds when our turn came 25 seconds, You can see how how the mind works and how we keep on resisting, protesting. Because there is a built-in expectation or demand that world should conduct itself to make me comfortable, to do what I want, what makes me happy. And when that demand is not, I get angry. You see a red light, you get upset. 79 seconds, 129 seconds, 180 seconds, all kinds of seconds are there. Tuk, 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 tuk. Those 180 seconds, my mind starts boiling, and by the time it comes, in case somebody cuts me off or something, then that anger just bursts out. So what makes me angry? My demand as to how things should be. My expectation as to how world should be, how people should be, how situations should be, how chief minister should be, how traffic lights should be, how road should be, how this should be, how water supply should be, electric supply, everywhere. And almost nothing will be as I want, usually. That's how Mumbai is, and that's how India is. Nothing will be what you want. I shouldn't say I, but anyway, this is the usual. So, what's the cause of anger? My demands and expectations. And therefore, how can I avoid anger? By giving up this demand and expectation. How do I do that? By gracefully accepting what is. But Swami, what I did not come, gracefully accept. But you cannot change. God give me the serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot change. Somebody will supply you what can you do? You can jump up and down. What you cannot control, gracefully accept. Thank you, God. What do you mean thank you? There was no water in the morning. But so, if you believe in God, it will help you. Don't believe in God also doesn't matter. When you believe in God, it becomes a little easier that God has done this, for some reason, therefore I accept it. If you don't believe in God, doesn't matter. Take a little more responsibility that there must be some reason why I accept it. Meaning that the willingness to accept the unpleasant. If things are pleasant and going the way I want, we have no problem. We are very happy. I believe in God. Swamiji, I believe in Him because He does what I want Him to do. The problem is when God stops obliging me and doesn't do what I want, that's when the problem with God also will come. There is also an expectation there. And so simple rule, give me God if you believe in God. Otherwise, give me the serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot change. Understand that there are many things, and most of the things which we do not control, which we cannot change, and that our attitude is how we can gracefully accept those things that we cannot change. In every situation there are two things, something that I can change and something that I cannot change. In a situation where we are, I have the freedom to say what I like to say. But I cannot control that you listen to what I am saying. After listening also that you positively accept what I am saying. After accepting that you respect what I am saying. After respecting that you put into practice, I may have so many expectations. I cannot control. And therefore there are some faces which are looking at me and showing some understanding and happiness. There are others who look at me like they have never seen me before. There are others who look in some different directions, and some people will be counting these lights and stuff like that. Somebody will be counting how many people are around. Different people, different activities I can see. That's how it is. I cannot control. I can get angry. Hey, look at me. Come on, don't listen to me, etc. It's my choice to make me unhappy. Or it's my choice to accept. Not, and if you can be one step more, to lovingly accept. How can you love this person so much? He doesn't like you. Then whatever. This is called inner transformation. Not only do I gracefully accept, there's one nice thing. But one step further is if I can lovingly accept. We have to grow. If this happens, then nothing can hurt me. Is it not so? Because in my mind, everything is all right as it is. Talks to me, thank you. Don't talk to me, thank you. Shake hand, namaste, whatever it is. See, people have gracefully accepted. What can you do? They have changed themselves from shaking hands now. Somebody said that what India could not do in 200 years, this coronavirus done in this 2 months, that they have turned British from shaking hands to doing namaste, This is called graceful acceptance. You gracefully accept what you cannot change. Coronavirus you cannot control, and therefore you have to adjust. Shake hands, all possibility of testing positive. This is another stuff that testing, everybody is testing, including president, vice president, all kinds of fellows are testing. It's amazing. How did they get it? I don't know. But because you shook hands with somebody who tested positive, from hand distance, I have no idea. I thought things come from, whatever, from the sneeze or something that they transfer. I never realized that these germs get transmitted by shaking hands. So President so-and-so shook hands with such and such fellow who had come from such and such place, and he then tested positive later on, and so he shook hands 1 week ago when we already had his potential thing, so he got it. This is, I tell you, this thing has humbled everybody, It's amazing how sometimes God, what we cannot do, this God does it. You enjoy watching this, isn't it? These fellows are always bullying you all the time. When you find them also becoming humble and letting go and submitting and confirming and conforming, makes me happy. What we could not do, this coronavirus. This is anyway. But the thing is how there are things that we cannot change, and therefore a graceful acceptance of what we cannot change. Or how can love, you can love coronavirus, that I don't know, I'm saying this, but I may have to think about things anyway. But the rule is, if you can lovingly accept what is, without demanding that it should change, with an attempt that I change, to protect myself, create a shield. This is creating a shield from the attacks that we get from the world. What is the shield? How do we protect ourselves from the injuries that happen to us because of attacks of the world? Is by this attitude of graceful acceptance. Give the freedom to the world to be what it is. Our Swami says, more freedom you give to the world, more freedom you enjoy. Easier said than done. Swami has a lot of advantage that he only has to interact with people who are always worshipful, favorable to him. And therefore, perhaps it may not be that easy for me to visualize what you have to go through, but still, whether we like it or not, there is no choice other than changing our attitude. There is no choice. There is no other way of avoiding unhappiness and no other way of becoming happy. This is the only way. You think of something else. The only way, when do I get hurt? When I do not accept the other person as a person is. I want them to be different. They are not. That's why I burst out. Therefore, accept them as they are. We accept a lot of things as they are, don't we? Mosquitoes, for example, what do? Mosquito bites, what do? You get angry? Do you get angry at mosquito? A dog barks at you, do you get angry? Sometimes, in street corners in the evening, you find people who, what they call mad. This is the expression that we use for everybody other than ourselves, mad. So this mad fellow is standing at the street corner. He has gathered a lot of wealth during the day of all kinds of garbage and etc. in his big bag. He has stuffed that and he is happy. And he watches me going by. And whatever happens, he always starts abusing me. Or saying all kinds of funny words, making joke of me, fun of me, etc. What do I do with him? Do I get angry? If a mad person treats you in a certain way, do you get angry? If a mosquito bites you, do you get angry? If a dog barks at you, do you get angry? Suppose your friend bites you, then? Suppose your friend stings you. Meaning that we have no problem with mosquitoes and dogs and cats and everything else. We only problem with what? Our friends and near and dear ones, because we want them to be such and such. Mosquito, I know, mosquito is like mosquito. So I gracefully accept. See, where there is graceful accept, there is no problem. Mosquito bite I may not want. It may cause pain. But I don't get angry, understand? Pain is one thing, anger is a different thing. I don't get angry because the dog is biting. It may be uncomfortable. I don't get angry because a madman said something to me. I can understand. This is called graceful acceptance. So if you want to know what is called graceful acceptance, we already have a lot of it in our life. Only thing is that attitude has to apply to our friends. The fellows who make us most hurt and unhappy are the people who are close to us. Closer a person is, more possibility of that person hurting me. Otherwise, who cares? If you're walking by, some unknown person says something, who cares? We don't care. If a friend says 1/10 of that, I get upset because I don't accept my friend as he is or she is. So therefore, wherever graceful acceptance is, there I understand. In that case, I have no expectation or demand. I do not get hurt. I do not allow unhappiness to happen in my mind. But Swamiji, from what you said, I do not hurt other people. But other people hurt me. What should I do? I don't get angry, but they get angry at me. And therefore, what should I do? Then I feel hurt. When I did something wrong, I felt guilty. When somebody else does it, I feel hurt. So hurt and guilt. Hurt I will not be if I gracefully accept. Guilty I will not be if I don't get agree. Again, gracefully accepting. Compassionately accepting. A value of compassion enables me to stay away from anger and doing something unbecoming, refraining from guilt, and an acceptance, graceful acceptance of what the other one is, enables me to stay away from hurt. So, two things, that's all. Hurt, graceful acceptance. Guilt, also graceful acceptance. One thing, graceful acceptance of others and of myself also, that enables me to stay away from this. I do not allow unhappiness to take over me. Then but what? Then you are happy. No effort is made to be happy. We make efforts and make ourselves unhappy. When you do that, don't do that, we are happy. So therefore, value in daily life. What's the value? One is graceful acceptance. What's second value? Being compassionate to others. Understand. People behave badly because they have problems within themselves. Somebody gets angry at you because there is some problem within. And therefore, look at the person behind the behavior. Rather than reacting to behavior, recognize that this person is under pain. And therefore, have sympathy, have compassion. So, daily life, meaning relating to the world, meaning refraining from being unhappy, meaning being happy. So, it is not the world that makes me happy or unhappy. It is my own mind which reacts in certain ways that makes me unhappy. And I have to work with my own mind with this value of graceful acceptance, with compassion. So that slowly the mind becomes such that the reactions, they reduce and they do not arise. If no reaction arises, you are a liberated person. That's all you need to do to be successful in life. All knowledge will come, everything will come. So this is the values in our daily life.
Thank you, Swamiji, for the enlightening talk. I'm sure someone from the audience would like to know something more about it. The question answer session is open now. Always mic is there.
So if there is a question,
please raise your hand and you can provide the cordless mic to ask question. There.
right there. અડધા તમે આવો ને અડધું માઇક આવશે.
I have a question related to day-to-day life. I have two questions. One thing is, my true nature is Atma, and during the whole day, at my workplace, at my home, while walking or talking or while traveling, anything whatever I do, I want to constantly in my own self. I want to constantly know myself, my true nature. How can I do in that? How can I always be in my true nature? First question. My second question is, as a young parents, how we can introduce our children to this Vedanta darshan. So these two questions I have. Thank you.
So first question is, how can I live in my true nature of Atma, isn't it? So this, the nature of Atma is love. Therefore, if your all activities or whatever you do is all originated from love, then you are automatically with yourself. Now, what is love? How does love manifest itself? When we say compassion, it is nothing but the manifestation of love. When you say graceful acceptance, expression of love. Giving freedom to others, expression of love. So these values are nothing but the expressions of love. It is nothing but the expression of my true self. So I need not separately remember Atma, 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 etc. Therefore these values are told to us. Each value is the nature of Atma. So each value comes from the nature of Atma itself. And therefore by following the value automatically we are in tune with Atma. That's the reason why I said that completely abiding in any one value means you abide in yourself. Second thing is how to inculcate this in our children. Vedanta may be too much demanding from our children. But Vedanta simplified can be said to be nothing but these values and attitudes. So if we can create in our children a value for these values, because a person will do something only if it benefits him. A simple thing is, question is, why should I do it? What is the personal benefit? Personal benefit should be there. So what do I stand to gain by being a loving person, compassionate person, giving person, etc.? What do I get? So we have to teach them what we call the value of values. How, as I just said, how these values are, number one, a means of creating a certain state of mind, and you become. Now our children we can tell, and to you also we can tell. The extent that you bring about this change within yourself, you become a more effective person, more successful person, meaning that this is also the worldly benefits. When I am able to keep my mind cool, or the extent to which I can keep my mind cool, I don't react. You have to look at these politicians really. So there are some of the very accomplished people. They just do not get this journalists, all sorts of fellows try to ask questions, provoke them, nothing happens to them. Really. And this fellow tries to distract him, he brings him back here. A skilled person you can see, there are many. Any good politician will like that. Whether otherwise they are there, but you can see how, by having a mind which is cool, which does not get provoked, which doesn't get excited, you can be a more effective person. You can deal with the situation in a more effective way if your mind is poised or composed. In that case, the decisions that you make also are likely to be right decisions. In which case, you are more likely to be successful in what you do. So not only this helps you internally, but it also helps you becoming a more effective and successful person. This is what we have to make our children do. They are interested in success. They may not care for love and stuff like that. Success everybody wants. So how this becomes a means of success? Who is a successful person? Who gets the desired result? When you get the desired result? When you do what is the right thing to do. When do you do that? When you make the right decision. When do you do that? When your assessment is right. When do you have that? When your mind is right. So this is how we can teach them at that level. And the demanding part of teaching values is being an example for them. Certain things do not just get communicated by words. They require them to see you are saying that. Is there somebody like that? They want to see the example. And so we have to demonstrate as best as we can. That will help us also, and that will help them. So the question is, how can we make our children do something? By first becoming that. You know the famous saying, be the change that you want to see in others as well. And so parents have a tough job, a big responsibility. Because children all look up to parents and they imitate the parents until they know that this is not the way worth imitating. Until then discover that. Until then they imitate them. They are the formating years. At that time we become for them an inspiring example of which they can learn, because simply words do not teach us. There are some mind, there is called audio visual thing, these days. Visual. You have to see it. So you become visual, not only audio but visual, so they can see. And that way the communication is effective. Then they will see. So, and it's a challenge, but that's good. Helps the parents also grow.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Good morning, Swami. Swamiji, hurt and guilt are a part of our life, and we all accept it also. And at times we say that time is the greatest healer. So we have to be patient, and with time, either hurt also goes away or the guilt also goes away. So what is this time, and why do we accept this time limit? And in fact, we don't feel guilty also after a certain time. So I fail to understand why do we also accept this thing.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay. This time does not, nothing heals. Time is a great healer. You have to heal. Things do not, as far as body is concerned, there is a mechanism in the body, a self-healing capacity the body has, therefore time will heal. The mind doesn't have that capacity. We have to use that. That hurt and guilt will not go away by themselves. They will remain. It is possible that they may be buried underneath so that they don't come on the surface, you feel they have gone away. Things never go away. They leave impressions. And when a similar situation happens, they will all come out. No, you may not remember the incident, but the impression that incident left, that you are hurt, when a similar event happens, that same hurt will come out. So, time, nothing heals. We have to heal these things. Time is a great healer. They say that only because you become occupied with other things, and therefore that thing no more may be important to you. And that way you can say that it is healed. You follow? You can say that time means that involvement in other things enables you to not pay much attention to this, and that way you feel that you have forgotten. You feel that it is healed. It is neither healed nor is it forgotten. The samskara, your impressions are there. They're all waiting to express themselves when the situation, invoking situation arises. Doesn't go away. So negative thing can be healed by a positive thing. Not simply by living in that, negative thing you lift in the cupboard or something. It remains there. You may not see it and think that it never goes away. Someday it will come out. Meaning that every time hurt or guilt happens, you have to resolve it, neutralize it. Somebody hurt me, you neutralize it by forgiving that person. The only way we can overcome the hurt is by forgiving the person who has hurt me, by being large-hearted. Oh, that person doesn't know what he is doing or she is doing. They have their own pain and difficulty which is coming out in his behavior. And therefore, if you can develop sympathy for that person who has hurt you, by seeing the person behind the behavior, then only that hurt can be healed. And if you are guilty, you have to seek pardon from others. You have to seek, you have to say, I'm sorry. Not say means mean it. Otherwise, that guilt will not go. Time will keep it inside the cupboard, that's all it will do, but it will not remove it. Unfortunately, the hurt and guilt is not one time thing, it keeps on happening, You said hurt and guilt is part of life. Means what? One hurt and one guilt may be put in the background, but new keeps on coming. As long as my mind is such that it can be hurt and guilty, it will keep on happening. So unless I change the mind, that it will not get hurt, that's what we discussed today, or that I will not be provoked or act out of anger, so I will not be guilty. unless we change the mind, that's called healing.
Thank you, Swami.
Namaste, Swami.
Yes, sir.
Swamiji, if the person is no more to whom we have hurted, then how to overcome the guilt?
Well, yeah. So, it's a very interesting question, that you hurt somebody and they're no more there. And still you can seek pardon. Look at these British people. I mean, I should not take names, but then this, Jallianwala Bagh, and it was very open that this General Dyer, I mean, just heartlessly, cruelly shot and killed people, but they don't regret. In fact, this general went back to England and he was honored. And these British people keep on coming to India, the Queen and this and that, and they even visit there. I don't know for what reason, but they never say, I'm sorry. Our wound never gets healed. They have gone away, but living wound in the present. So similarly, if you hurt somebody who has gone away, in our prayers we can seek pardon from them and wish them well. So, in short, if you there is an expression called prayaschitta. Prayaschitta means what you do after. For the offense that you committed by commission or omission, the way to neutralize a negative effect is prayaschitta. Do something positive. No, so that person is gone. All right. Maybe you can perform a prayer for that person. Or help similar persons. Do something positive. And that's the only way to neutralize the effect of guilt in our mind. Do something positive. By seeking pardon of that person or by helping similar persons. You follow what I am saying? Or perform 10 malas, some prayers you do. The reason why I am saying this is simply the attitude that I want to forgive, that I want forgiveness is not enough. Put it in action. Our Swami says, physicalize your attitude. So I have an attitude that I want pardon from him. That I will do this mala, I will do something, some good action I will do to try to neutralize the effect of that. Then it will help your mind that you've done something positive and it will feel, comfortable.
Thank you, Swami.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Hello, Pranam Swamiji. Actually, you have beautifully explained my happiness is depend on myself. It is not outside the world. I actually align. I am 100% aligned that. And you also said that you can't change the world. You should accept the world as it is. You should accept the person the way he is. You should accept the circumstances the way it is. It's 100% true. And you also said that it is the practice of inner transformation. You should continuously create yourself. So you should be happy. You should create a good value in your daily life. And you should also explain that there is no hurt and there is no guilt. It automatically comes to you. So you should accept it or not, it's up to you. But sometimes I stuck because it's a continuous process. Right? So I know I should be happy. There is no changing and fixing in the world. I should accept the word it is. Right? I am doing this daily basis continuously. But sometimes I stuck in that. So how should I keep in existence? So same practice I should do moment by moment.
Right. One thing that anybody can do is spend a few minutes in the morning, say 15 minutes, and going over the possible events and interactions that are likely to happen during the day. Because there is a pattern that you meet these people, those people, you do this, that, daily pattern is there. Then rehearse in your mind how you are going to act or what attitude you will maintain at that time. This person is going to come. I know how that person is. So how should I? What is my value? This is likely to happen. What should be my response? You follow? So what is going to happen during the day, if you prepare a strategy of how you are going to conduct yourself doing that, then hopefully it will happen that way. That I have to accept it. I know I cannot change this person. God bless him. But it's a God bless me also that I can accept the person. And I can maintain a certain composure of my mind in spite of this person's behavior. If you have prepared yourself, very likely that when actual situation comes, you may be able to practice it.
Thank you, Swami.
Yeah.
Any other question?
You can ask in English, Hindi, Gujarati, by the way. So, if you think that you can express yourself better in Hindi, please do. Gujarati, please do. If not English. Here.
Hari Om Swamiji. Sometimes we don't accept the person, so we feel that it is better to keep ourselves away from that person. How much this will be true or helpful to us?
Right, keeping a distance. It's okay. When we know that it is a particularly difficult situation and we are likely to lose ourselves and control, it's quite all right, you have to keep distance. But it's not a solution. It is a temporary relief. Because basic problem remains of not being able to maintain my coolness or maintain my composure in presence of that person or similar person. I'm not saying that we have to deliberately confront that. But if you have prepared your strategy beforehand, this person is like this, he's going to behave in this manner. What is my strategy? What is my response? What is my value? And how can I put that value in practice? So that way we can rehearse and try. If it's unavoidable, sometimes you cannot even create a distance. Sometimes unavoidable. You can create distance. I'm not saying that you have to embrace unhappiness, but at the same time, we know that by avoiding things, it's not going to solve because the problem is in my mind. That person is only pushing some button and bringing out the problem in my mind. But I'm not yet ready, then you can avoid. Someday when I become strong, then I will do that. But as I say, it's not a solution, but it can definitely give you a certain relief.
Thank you, sir.
Swamiji,
Hmm.
in this competitive world, if we accept things as it is, how do we progress?
See, nobody asked this question, I would expect by anybody. If you accept things as they are, then where is the motivation to change? Where is the motivation to progress? Nothing will happen, isn't it? If the scientists accepted things, then no new development would have taken place, not even today also. If you accept things as they are, all right, it's hot, so it's hot. Then you won't develop fan. That's okay. No air conditioner. If you accepted things as they are, then no change will happen. What's the point? So what is meant by acceptance? It's a good question. There, what is important is to understand what we mean when we say accepting. Here, acceptance does not mean not responding to a situation. Acceptance is not the description of an action or response. Acceptance is the attitude of mind. What is meant by acceptance is I understand the person as it is. I understand what is. And I understand that this is how it is. It is hot. And then this is called acceptance, means that not that I accept that it should not change. I understand that it is nature of this time of the year to be hot. Then what should I do? So acceptance is simply an attitude of mind where I do not react. Otherwise, so I keep on complaining, reacting. In all likelihood, I become incapable of doing anything. Even if I want to change, that also requires a composed disposition of mind. Is it not so? No research and development and decisions can be made if you are excited. So what is meant by acceptance is not getting provoked, not getting excited. Understanding. That's the nature of things. Sun is like this, moon is like that, summer is like this, winter is like this, mosquito is like that, anything is like what it is. That doesn't mean that I invite coronavirus. No. That this is what it is. That if I shake hands, is all right. What is my strategy? I don't hate that corona. Acceptance means I accept that it's a reality. That's called acceptance. Then I have a frame of mind to determine what to do. So acceptance does not mean not responding. Acceptance means not reacting. I do not get angry. I do not get provoked. I do not get upset. That frame of mind is called acceptance. Means respecting what it is. That there is virus. It is there. What's the point in your complaining? There is no point. It is there. Acceptance doesn't mean that I will going to tolerate the virus. Acceptance doesn't mean that we will not take any action in that. Acceptance means that I understand that there is a reason for it. It is there, and therefore I am not excited about it. I am not provoked. I am not angry. I am not upset. Then I can do what needs to be done. What to do about this thing? Now stop spreading. Now they say more than treating, to stop, pay attention to spreading. Treatment is okay. Spreading, stop it. Whatever. So you come to strategy. So in fact, the acceptance alone, acceptance means right understanding. And that gives me a disposition of mind to assess things properly and respond properly. Then all development is possible.
Thank you, Swami. Any more questions? Sorry. Okay. I've got a couple of announcements. There's a similar lecture like this tomorrow between 11:30 and 12:30 at Abhinav Nagar, Borivali East.